So the Cowboys lost. It's funny, I said last week I'm done talking about the Cowboys when they lose because it doesn't feel notable anymore because they're just a bad team. I mean, they really are. The Cowboys are just not a good team at this point. Um, their wins against a bad Cleveland Browns team. They beat the Steelers, but that was with Fields. And they beat who was their other win? Was it Carolina? I don't even remember. I think it was Carolina. But they're not a good team. And lost to the Saints, who stink. Lost to the Ravens, Niners. I mean, those are it's fine. Like, there's no shame in losing to the Ravens and the Niners and the Falcons. Like, Falcons are a good team. Like, there's no shame in that. But Dallas just isn't very good. And I think the league has to figure that out and realize that and learn that. They lost to Detroit. There's no shame in losing to Detroit. Like, the only team that they've lost to that they really should have beaten was the Saints. And if they win that game, they're 4-4. They still have a pretty good chance. They beat the Giants. They're just like they're not the worst team in the league, but they're not a good team. They're doing the fake punt thing and almost throwing an interception, and man, I don't love it. I really don't love it. They're trying to be aggressive. I get it. You're trying to be aggressive, but at some point you just got to punt the ball away. Kirk Cousins looking great, but the reason we're talking about the Cowboys and even this early in the show is because Dak Prescott got hurt. Honestly, if Dak didn't get hurt, I don't know if I would have even talked about this game because it really does feel like an unnecessary game to talk about. You know what I mean? But because he got hurt, we're gonna talk about it. So he's out for multiple weeks, maybe IR. If I was them, I would start Trey Lance, and that's what the ESPN pundits are saying too this morning. Start Trey Lance because the bottom line is you've got nothing to lose at this point. Because if Trey Lance plays awfully, their next games they've got the Commanders, the Eagles, and who's the other one? It's another tough one. They have 3 tough games coming up: Commanders, Eagles. Is it Tampa? It might be Tampa. Let me look really quick. Dallas has the Commanders, Eagles, and Texans. So we expect them to lose all 3 of those games, right? With or without Cooper Rush or Trey Lance. Who has a higher ceiling, Trey Lance or Cooper Rush? Well, you'd think it would be Trey Lance. He was picked 3rd overall. So on the if there is any chance the Cowboys pull off an upset, I think it would be with Lance and not with Cooper Rush, who, yeah, he went 4-1, but when he went 4-1, it was against bad teams and it was with a much better defense, right? That year, the Cowboys had the best defense in the league. This year, they do not have that. So I would start Trey Lance, not Cooper Rush. Also, if he sucks and you lose those games, then you'd be 3-8. At that point, do you throw the whole season away? Just give Dak the rest of the year to heal up? You've already paid him, so you can't get rid of him. Give him time to heal. And then at that point, it's like you get a good draft pick somebody good in the draft next year, and you move on with this season. But they're out. They're out of the playoffs. Yeah, they're out of the playoff mix. Because they're behind. How much are they behind? They're 3 games back in their division. And they're also 3 games back of the wild card, right? Because the Eagles are 6-2 in a wild card. And the Vikings are 6-2, and they're a wild card. And the other wild card would be 6-3, would be Green Bay. And Green Bay, and yeah, so they're 2.5 back of Green Bay. They're 3 back of the Eagles in their division, 3 back of the Commanders in their division. They're not making the playoffs. It's over for Dallas. shout out to the Falcons for looking good, and shout out to Kirk Cousins, 3 more touchdowns. He's been on fire, and the Falcons are going to win that division. They're 6-3. Bucks are going to lose to the Chiefs, so they're going to have 2 games and the tiebreaker over the Bucks. This week just about wraps up the NFC South. To be honest, the Falcons pretty much won the NFC South this week. Really, they won it last week when they beat the Bucks, but this week really kind of wraps that thing up. So congrats to the Falcons.